Mr Speaker, I wish to make a statement under Standing Order 347 in relation to the statement of national emergency in Christchurch City. On Thursday the 31st of March, I further extended the duration of the state of national emergency in Christchurch City under Section 71 of the Civil Defence Emergency Management Act. This was the sixth extension of the state of national emergency that applies specifically to Christchurch City since it was first declared on 23rd of February. I will make a further extension tomorrow, Wednesday the 6th of April. The extensions are necessary to enable the National Controller to continue exercising its powers and functions under the Civil Defence Emergency Management Act.
Charles Chevelle.
Acknowledge the statement from the Minister. I also, though, want to record some disappointment given that on the last occasion when the Minister advised the House of the renewal of a state of emergency, it was pointed out to the Government that the very wide powers under a national state of emergency needed to be questioned as far as their appropriateness for dealing with a regional emergency is concerned. The Minister was asked to address the House after consideration on the next occasion that he spoke to the House on this matter about whether a regional state of emergency would do. I note in this regard that the Cabinet papers which have been released concerning the Canterbury Emergency Recovery Authority contemplate effectively putting in place such a state to be administered by the new entity to be created by that legislation. So, Sir, while the opposition continues to support the need for extraordinary powers to exist in Canterbury, I do register my disappointment that the Minister hasn't addressed the point of whether or not a national state of emergency remains necessary in the circumstances.
Mr. Speaker.
Keith Locke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Greens have supported the national state of emergency as a means of mobilising national resources and getting essential recovery work done quickly and efficiently. And we praise the many people who have gone the extra mile to really get things moving, the people of Orion who got the power back on very quickly, the heavy truck operators who have been working so hard to get all the silt and rubble cleared away, and the many people who have travelled from cities and towns outside of Christchurch to work there and help the people of Christchurch in their hour of need. However, alongside the praise, we have to note the criticism by Christchurch locals of certain aspects of the civil defence operation and help rectify this situation wherever the criticism is justified. It is distressing to still read, as recently as this morning's Christchurch Press newspaper, that people are complaining that premises are being knocked down without the owners or residents even being informed. In this morning's press, Hayato Sakaguchi, who operated the Billiken Japanese restaurant in Colombo Street and lived in the apartment upstairs, complained his building had been demolished without notification or any opportunity to recover valuables, despite the fact that he had registered his details on the official Recover Canterbury Earthquake website. The slow, overly cautious, zero-risk approach to giving business owners access to premises is still causing frustration and slowing business recovery. The closer the earthquake recovery operation is to the people, the less we'll see such problems. And in this respect, the quicker the national state of emergency can be ended and more powers devolved to the local people, including the Christchurch City Council, the better it will be. Bodies like the newly announced Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority need to be truly accountable to Cantabrians. And in his statement today, the Minister doesn't really give any idea, and I support what Charles Chevelle said, any idea of when the national state of emergency will be ended or even what criteria will be used to end it. The Greens have been asking written questions on this and haven't had any real reply. The plan for the regeneration of Christchurch, and particularly the CBD, needs to be locally driven, and Kennedy Graham and the Greens in Christchurch are helping by planning a series of forums to gather ideas for rebuilding the city on a sustainable basis. We always need to be mindful of the huge challenges being faced by the people of Christchurch and our responsibilities as a nation to help them. Christchurch businesses and workers will need substantial financial support for a long while yet, which is why the Greens are pressing for a national earthquake levy on higher income earners. We can't see how the money for this support will be generated in any other way to a sufficient amount. We can't just say to Christchurch businesses and workers, you're getting 3 months income support and then you're on your own or on the dole. We do support the extension of the state of emergency, but we would like more information in future. Thank you.
The Honourable John Carter in reply.
I just want to say it's wonderful when people have 40-40 vision 5 weeks later. The point is that the state of emergency, we've told, will be continued until we have a replacement. The second thing is, Mr Speaker, that the person the member complained about was we did endeavour to contact them and couldn't find them and had to make the decisions we did. Of course, we are always concerned first and foremost about the safety of people. And finally, I just make the point again that I made, that the national state of emergency applies specifically to Christchurch City.
Are there any petitions?